Hello survivors, and welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to be finishing Jotunheim realm on all of the characters. We've got missing left only, so he's the last character to do this on. This is the skill tree we are using on him, but we are going to be doing a no relic run. What I mean by that is we are not going to be purchasing any relics from the shop, and we're not going to be grabbing any of the relics from the floor. The only one we are going to be grabbing is the Ascension Shrines, because you know that Ascension Crystal doesn't really count as a relic. So we are going to absolutely have nothing on the side over here, on the side over there, except for what is here. And we are not going to be playing Stormbringer. That is just too easy. We are going to be, oh my gosh, these are like, could have asked for an easier run on missing. This is insane. Alright, we've got +9 to fire over here, so I think we're going to go for the Bronze Boots. We will focus on them. They do some insane amounts of damage, so we've also got burning damage over there, as well as the +9 damage to them over there, so this is going to be fantastic. So it's going to be a poison fire build. You know, that's going to come out to working out well. I shouldn't have actually re-rolled there. I don't know what I was thinking. There we go. Damage duration, effectiveness. And then I think the damage is in a decent spot where we can actually not worry about anything else right now. The only thing about using Brawn in the beginning before it is ascended is it doesn't move towards the targets. So therefore you do have to kind of cart the enemy around a little bit just so that they do burn and that you don't die from them. So again, we are looking for damage. Perfect. There we go. Damage area and duration. That is fantastic. Getting duration, you doing it this way is probably going to be a lifesaver, because obviously we do want to ascend the Bronze Boots to move towards targets. So having a higher duration means that you are going to be able to obviously kill more enemies, because the fire will move to them. And even having that 1 second duration extra just means that they're going to get the fire when they might not have otherwise been able to get hit by it. So the higher the duration, the better in this case, but it isn't always the case. It just depends on how you are building it. So we're going to go with this damage cooldown and area. There we go. Fantastic. And I do believe when we ascend it, we do get an extra 1 second duration. So we're on 6 second duration for the boots, which is fantastic. So it gets 6 seconds to move to enemies and burn them constantly until it expires. Cooldown means that there's going to be more fire on the floor. And then we are going to, on the next ascension, just make it blow everything up. So we can actually AFK the entire time while having a fat chat with you guys. I actually did land up buying the game called Gunfire Reborn on the weekend. It is a fantastic roguelike slash, and it also has co-op. So if anyone here has Gunfire Reborn, you can let me know down in the comments. Maybe we can jam it sometime and look at making videos on it. So if that's something that interests all of you, then let me know down in the comments. If you don't know what the game is, maybe I could just make a introduction to the actual game. And if you guys enjoy the gameplay and the game itself, we can make more videos on that. Alright, now, so there is the endless mode, and the thing with making a video on endless is it is endless. So maybe it's something we can live stream in the future if that is something everyone is interested in. We can do a poll for it, so do keep a lookout on the community tab and let me know what you guys think. The characters I would be using for endless would be 1, either missing, or 2, Helga. I think Helga with her tarot cards is very, very good for the endless mode, as well as having the bird ace, which deals damage, and then you know the feather burst just deals. That's amazing. But for missing, you would re-roll to get a reset in your tree, and then from there you kind of just reset every single everything in your tree. You don't pick up anything weapon-wise, relic-wise from the shop, and try and stay away from poison, because otherwise it is quite laggy. But you can turn off all of the damage numbers as well as the effects where it says poisoned and things like that, and therefore it does kind of help with the lag a lot. So I don't think that is something a lot of people have thought about turning off, but when I did do it and when I did turn off those effects as well as damage numbers, it really did help with the lag from endless mode. So if you haven't done it yet, go take a look at doing that. It is extremely helpful. Alright, let's just chill here. We have 34 points to spend, so let's go do that. I actually forgot that we had a perfect concoction ultimate, so we do want that. We got RNG potion, which was damage, which is fantastic. We're going to take the unlimited. It is better for us than the glowing coin. And then we're going to work on our perfect concoction ultimate. We're not going to use it until we have 3 stacks, so we need 8 more skill points. The reason for that is, one, it's just going to be a lot quicker to stack once we have it at once we have the ultimate at max. Then you get 3 stats per ultimate, and then, well, per use, as opposed to 1 or 2 per rank. So it's just easier that way. And then, you could actually roll 3 damage upgrades at once instead of just 1. And then, it's just better this way, trust me. I don't know how to put it in words. What happens? Let me try. Okay, so the ultimate, her ultimate, or in this case Helga's ultimate, the way that it works is you get to activate it and it gives you a random buff. Now, if you use it at rank 1, it only gives you 1 out of 5. At rank 2, it gives you 2 out of 10. So it gives you random buffs. At level 3, it gives you 3 out of 25. But those 3 can be a single buff. So you could get 3 damage buffs as opposed to 2 or 1, or even just, something like that. So it is much better to get the 3 damage buffs if you're lucky than it is to get the 1, because it is random. If it does roll damage, you're going to get that higher damage proc throughout the game. So just better to wait till you have 22 skill points, get the ulti, and use them all then. Similar to how getting Telpor's ultimate to level 3 gives you more chance of getting relics than it is at level 1s and 2s. Same goes for Helga's ulti. The buffs you can get, you're going to get a higher amount of damage if you roll 3 damage buffs more often than just 1 damage buff. So here we go. Let's see if we can give you an example by using it. So there we go. As you can see, unfortunately it rolled 3 random ones, but we did get damage, crit, and effective probability, which is actually pretty good because we are playing poison and fire, so we are in a good spot there anyway. I did want it to roll at least 2 or 3 of the same stat, but it didn't, so that's kind of unfortunate in that sense. Right, what else do we need to do? We've got skill points for days. It would be nice if we had more life, because it is actually going to get a bit hard. Oh wait, actually, now that I am thinking about it, where is a fire? Alright, so we had 1 in C, so it gave us another damage roll, and then we got area and movement speed. That is good. What isn't good is that I forgot that we are in Jotunheim with the freezing curse, and as you can see, we are on 5 stacks. So I need to go to a brazier before we fight the final boss, because not the final boss, the boss for the for this wave, because they have a dash, and it ain't very nice to be dashed on when you have no movement speed. So that's the thing. And we only have 4 hearts, so we can only take 2 hits but on the third hit at least we have the unlimited, so it will give us some life back, or at least a shield. We are going to keep our ultimate for the boss fight, so that we do have the extra damage as well as other things like that. Alright, because we've got the boss fight coming up though as well, we are going to put some points into our poison bomb. That's just going to help us clear out trash as well as just extra damage for the boss fight. It's close to getting hit over there. We can't afford to take any damage or unnecessary damage. So, you know, let's keep going. Got ourselves a decent amount of projectiles now on our poison bomb. Here is Lady Bothel. And we can smack her with a fire. And now we can kind of just run her around. So she does kind of put her fists up before she dashes. And that is a clear indication of what she's going to do. And they also decide to just walk a lot faster towards you, and it's also a reason why you need that movement speed so that you don't get trampled on. So again, we can just grab that as well. No shopping allowed for this run, which is fine. And now we are going to double ascend the explosion or the bronze boots, so that now we have both explosion and vivid fire. We're going to grab the final upgrade there. And what else can we work on? Let's go for area of effect. Then we got poison damage. We don't need anything here. Status duration is fine, but we don't really need it. Projectile speed is good. As far as I know, the fire does count as a projectile. So projectile speed hopefully makes it move along the floor faster. But that's just a guess. I could be completely wrong. And as you can see, we are starting to explode enemies, which is fantastic. And when we have used the ulti another couple of times, we will look at all of our stats. So we can use it another 4 times, 5 times, and then we will be at max stacks. So 5 more times, and hopefully we can move on from there. Actually getting poison and fire on him, very, very good. Both are very, very strong skills. It's going to be interesting because both kind of overpower other skills. It's going to be interesting to see which one is going to deal more damage at the end, but probably bronze boots. Let's ulti up. I don't really see much difference happening here yet, but we are kind of just sitting at the bonfire, so we do kind of have to go collect all of our skill points that are sitting here on the floor, dodge the ice scorpion because we don't need to worry about him because we have 0 curse on us. I know a lot of people are saying, you know, the ice scorpion you know, is a silly elite for this kind of thing because the movement speed for the debuff is too hard, don't make it movement speed, or you know, guys, just stay by the fire. It's really not that hard to survive if you know, stay by a fire. Alright, 50% projectile speed definitely does make a difference. We can see a visible change in the speed of the projectiles or of the fire, so I can see it. I don't know, you guys can let me know if you see it, but I definitely see a visible change in the projectile speed of the fire when you have more projectile speed. So that's good to know that projectile speed does affect the speed at which the bronze fire moves towards enemies, and good to know if you do want it. Then, you know, especially if you are playing with like Helga's passives over here, like we got over here, if this was projectile speed, it would be good, as well as if you were able to get more hearts. But because we are doing a no relic run, obviously grabbing hearts isn't an option for us. But if you weren't doing it this way and you just wanted to make an insane little build with bronze boots, then do look for projectile speed. Projectile speed, duration, and area will obviously help. The higher the duration, the better, because they will last longer. The longer it lasts, the more damage it will deal. Alright, I think we've used the ulti 3 or 4 more times already. I haven't actually been counting. That's very silly of me. I should have maybe counted, but it doesn't really matter. We'll just take a look once we have used it one more time to see. And we can go. We can actually look now. We are on 2 more tries still. And now we can start working on our poison damage. That will be the final thing that we do get in the tree, because we don't need anything else. We don't need the other weapons. The other weapons are physical typings. They aren't fire or poison, so we don't need to take them. And again, we're not going to need the damage anyway. We will have more than enough damage coming from our poison bomb as well as bronze. So fantastic work over here. It was quite an interesting little tree or constellation from missing. If we landed up getting something like reset, luckily, you know, if you're lucky enough to get it, that would be even better. Obviously, I'm not going to re-roll unless we're specifically looking to do reset for the video. So if we do an endless stream or something like that, then that is something we will end up doing. Obviously re-rolling for the reset relic, but otherwise you don't really need it. You could find it in the store if you really wanted it. Even in endless you don't need it, but it helps with the beginning and not wasting gold buying unnecessary relics to try and find it. So there is that going for it. Alright, poison damage over there. So we are on, what poison damage? 83 fire and 48 poison. I think Brawn Boots are going to do more damage than the poison bomb here, just because we do have more burn damage. I remember when the Projectile map came out, a lot of people were saying that the Mama Bat should have been the final boss. Some people have started saying that already about the second boss for this map, saying that it is harder than the final boss. Again, it's probably just the same thing as last time. You get to be a lot more powerful when you do fight the final boss, and also maybe because he is stationary, you are able to see his fights. But guys, if you... oh, we picked up a chest. But if you take your time with the fight, you get to see all of his attacks as well, and he isn't as easy. Again, the elite that's going to spawn now, even, he isn't too difficult. What is difficult about him is just his one glacial attack, where if you are close to him, it's going to hit you hard. But otherwise, you know, that attack there that he just used. But if you keep your distance, you don't really have to worry about it. Those you can kind of dodge, you can't see them. They are, you know, effects on the floor. And even there, as you could see, we could hear the noise of the glaciers coming, so we had the chance to dodge it. But as you can see, not too difficult to dodge his attacks. Even those, it's just the red lines on the floor, and as easy as par, we did not even get hit, where we did get hit by the very first mini boss. So, you know, not too difficult in terms of that. But what we're going to do here is probably deadly poison, just so when we do poison enemies, they take more poison damage. Alright, so we are on the final leg now. It would be nice if we didn't just take random hits like that and lose a nice heart we got from Gnocchi's realm. You know, we lost a present from Gnocchi over there, but it is what it is. We can't really stop that from happening. And now you can see with more enemies, the more enemies that spawn on the map, the more damage Brawn is going to do, because it's going to explode more often, and it's just going to have that, you know, like knock-on effect. It's not knock-on effect, I can't think of what the word is though, but, you know, when something blows up, the next thing blows up, then the next thing blows up, and as long as there is burning on the enemies, it will just continuously keep exploding. So let's go for more area of effect. That's going to help with the burn and with the poison, so we can just keep doing more and more. Alright, level wise we are on level 140. We could have probably done this with less levels in the tree, like the XP tree. We didn't really need the levels. I mean, we've had 37 levels that we're not going to be using. We probably could have put it into something else, but there is nothing else really in the tree, because we do have, we could have probably gone into the healing tree, I guess, or something like that, but it's much of a muchness. It doesn't really affect us. All you really need is the combat tree and the limit break and early leveling last start, and you'll be good to go. So it also comes down to we landed up with a very interesting tree. So we got Poison Bomb and Brawn Boots, which are very, very strong. Gotta love Missing though, because he does show you, hey, these long lost what are they? Relics, ancient relics on enemies are actually really not on enemies, on allies or on characters. So because normally when you play characters, you don't play certain relics on them. So like everyone who plays Axeldor, they hardly ever use Brawn, except for me, because I actually found like a new love for it. But a lot of other people don't touch Brawn with the 10-foot pole or even Iron Hammer. They always go for the Stormbringer axes, or even when you're playing with Missing, people love to re-roll him until they get Stormbringers and a reset. So this kind of brings like a new love for some of these older, or some of these relics or weapons that people don't normally play with, and you get to see just how strong they really are. But Poison Bomb people do play with, especially since the buff to it, and especially on Thara, just because the daggers are in quite a rough space right now. So people do play on the Poison Bomb, but Brawn definitely doesn't get used. I would suggest that when you are playing Missing, try not re-roll him, see what crazy combinations you get in his constellation, and you know, it's just something to enjoy. Being able to do with this character, because you can't really get these combinations on any other characters except for him. So you don't always have to reset for something specific, you can just enjoy it the way it is. Alright, we've nearly got the final boss coming up. It hasn't been the fastest of times, as you can see. We're still nearly on a 22-minute time, but it is a very, very fun one, although it is kind of a standstill for a lot of the time, which you know, isn't really the most fantastic thing, but that is because of the map we're playing on that requires us to stand by these braziers or bonfires. So don't blame the player, blame the game. Alright, no ruins. Let's go final boss. Let's go beat him up. Also, before we beat him up, let's just have a look at what our ultimate was. So we landed up with 90% damage, 80% projectile speed, which is really, really cool, and 40% area. The rest of it's kind of not really necessary, but the effective probability. So effective probability, damage, movement speed, and area, really, really nice, as well as the projectile speed. So, you know, things worked out pretty well here. And what else is cool is because he does not move, the Brawn Boots can kind of just chill and deal damage on top of his head. So that's really, really cool. When he closes his fists again, he uses that attack. We were waiting for him to close his fists at least once so that we could land up using our perfect concoction. Here he closed his fists, which means he's going to be doing his glacial attack. Unfortunately, we couldn't dodge all of them. That was pretty bad on my behalf. But as you can see, the poison and the burn does just stack. So as long as we are able to keep moving. Good. We have to move again. No, that's fantastic. And he should die very, very soon. Here's his laser beam. Oh, no, he's not. He's doing his punch. Okay, cool. Ah, there's his laser beam. Luckily, we just used our... don't hit me. Oh, that was close. Whew. Okay, we did it, ladies and gentlemen. So, absolutely no relics picked up. We did obviously use some passive relics because of the skill tree. And obviously the weapons as well are ancient relics. But we never picked up any relics from the shop or the shrines. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That was actually quite a difficult boss fight because of not having extra damage or anything like that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.